What's up, everybody? Puck Mike here, back with another video, and back with the first edition of the Puck Mike Show, connecting hockey cards to hockey news. Now, you're probably wondering, why are you seeing my face? Where is the box break? The Sidney Crosby bobblehead? Don't worry, he's right here. And I'm here to tell you that I am officially rebranding the channel. That's right. I'm still going to be doing box breaks on the channel every now and then. I'm still going to be doing my collector's style advice videos every now and then. But, you know, I came to the realization that, I've been doing this channel for, gosh, a couple years now. And you know, I love talking about hockey, and there's a lot of hockey news channels out there on YouTube, and I love talking about hockey cards, and there's a lot of hockey card channels out there on YouTube, as I'm sure you guys all watch, hockey card break channels. But there's only one other channel that I have found that kind of bridges the gap between the two, connecting the hockey cards to the hockey news. That's the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast. That's the only one I have found that actually does that. And what I mean by that is actually looking at the news and looking at how that affects hockey card sales or doesn't affect hockey card sales. So I have decided to rebrand this channel to do just that, connecting hockey news to hockey cards. So really excited about it. Like I said, I'll still be doing a lot of the other content, but here hopefully bringing you this weekly podcast of the Puck Mike Show. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Hit that subscribe button, notifications, all that fun stuff. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. The Puck Mike Show, be sure to check out our playlist and podcast, a weekly show discussing the latest and greatest hockey card news, featuring key segments like Around the League, the top news stories around the world of hockey and their impact on the hockey card market, the Card Report, card-centric hobby news, weekly pack breaks, and so much more. On today's show, we'll go around the league, looking at some of the top news stories around the world of hockey and see what impact they've had, if any, on the hockey card market. We'll jump into our Card Report discussing card-centric hobby news. We'll have this week's Player Spotlight. We'll jump around YouTube to see what's going on with hockey card channels around the world of YouTube. As you can expect, Bedardmania is in full swing. Kind of sick of it myself. I don't know if I'm the only one. We'll get into that a little bit. And a look ahead at some upcoming product releases with Upper Deck. So let's jump right into it. So first thing here, we're going to look at some of the top news stories around the world of hockey this past week and even the past couple weeks, since this is the first time doing the show, and see what impact they've had on recent card sales. So first up, Mr. Josh Ho-Sang. Now, Josh Ho-Sang, you may have heard, released a rap album and is planning an NHL comeback. So the rap album is called Same. It was released on March 5th, 2024. And, you know, I watched some other news channels out there. I think it was Sportsnet had it's like Klepper and Born or something like that. Mixed reviews from the album release in terms of the fact that he's actually releasing the album. Same thing on the Steve Dangle podcast. Steve Dangle kind of made a little bit of kind of a joke about it. But people were making kind of a joke about it. I'm not really sure why. I actually have a music background myself, and so I think if somebody wants to go ahead and release music, I think it's pretty cool. Maybe they're thinking, you went from the NHL to releasing music. What's wrong with you? I mean, I don't really see what the big deal is, but I think it's kind of cool. I actually went and listened to the music. It's out there on YouTube. Again, the album is called Same. He's got a song called Poppy for MVP, which I think is actually supposed to be about Austin Matthews maybe, but check that out. You know, it's actually pretty cool. And in terms of the NHL comeback, ECHL Florida Everblades is where he signed his contract. That's the Florida Panthers affiliate since 2022, I believe. And, you know, I did a lot of research about Josh Ho-Sang, and I wanted to kind of know what the full story was with him. Why was he so touted at one point and then kind of just fell off? You know, and of course, I mean, there's stuff out there on Wikipedia saying he was late to some practices and then got demoted. And then, I mean, all these things, it's hard to really know what's true or what's not true. I mean, if that is true, you don't want that to be the case, obviously, although he's probably not the first one that was late to a practice, right? I don't know. I don't know the full story with him. I don't. But I think the fact that if that is true or isn't, whatever, he's making a comeback, I think that's pretty cool. Love a good comeback story, right? And the music going along with it, I mean, that's pretty awesome. So let's jump into some card prices. So, yeah, that album was released March 5th, 2024. So if we look at card prices the week before that, February 25th to March 2nd, and this is Terapeak Sourcing Insights. Actually, this is Terapeak Product and Sourcing Insights on eBay. I believe you need to have an eBay store subscription to get this information, which I do have. And so if you look at the 25th to the 2nd, about 7 total cards sold, and so not that great. But if we change it, see, March 3rd to March 9th, if we change it to those days, we'll just go March 3rd, March 9th here, research. You do have to change the category each time you do that, unfortunately, but we got about 5 total sold, so not really that much of a difference there. If we go to March 10th to March 15th, that's another week after. Let's go March 10th to even a little bit past when I planned this video, so we'll actually go to the 18th, and we'll see 2 sold. So, okay, not a lot of sales, and there's really, one sold here, 99 cents. This is one of his Young Guns rookie cards. So I would say, if you're wanting to find a diamond in the rough, if he does make his way back, you'd probably make a little bit of a return on this. I don't know if it's going to be a selling for over $100 situation. He'd have to really, really make a good comeback, like playing in the top 6 for some teams. So I don't see any impact right now on his sales with the news coming out, but I still think it's a pretty cool story. And if you want to get his cards, now is the time to do it. I got to get a sip of coffee. Next segment, Mr. Jaromir Jagr. First of all, the guy is still playing in the Czech Republic. He owns the team in Kladno. He's 50, 4, 3. I don't know. It's crazy that he's still playing. Like, you think he'd want to hang it up at this point, but they retired his jersey in Pittsburgh, and then they were going to have Jaromir Jagr Bobblehead night, and they lost. Or no, they didn't lose. Somebody stole the bobbleheads. Maybe they planned this. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. They did. But somebody stole the shipment. It was like 18,000 bobbleheads. So whether they knew it was Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads or they didn't, they probably were somewhat disappointed. Although, well, you can't really sell them on eBay because people are going to know, hey, that's that. Just go chase down that user, I guess. But so let's see if that had any impact here on card sales. So if we go to Jagr, February, let's see, it was announced that they were stolen on March 14th. So if we go to February 24 for the entire month, just over 1,500 card sales for that month for Jagr sales. And then if we look at March 1st to March 15th, so that would be, let's go even past the 15th a little bit. Let's see, March 1st to, we'll go to the 18th, and we'll just look at trading card singles. And okay, so that's actually quite a bit. When I planned this out, there was only, let's see, if we go to the 15th, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. We're looking at February here. That's why. I thought it was, when I planned this out, it didn't have that many. If you're listening out there and not watching, I accidentally had February instead of March there. Okay, so yeah, 709 sold for the first few weeks here, almost few weeks of March. So that's kind of on pace for what he already did in February. So I think this is actually a really good point to bring up here. Players that have stood the test of time, the Jaromir Jagr or like a Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux, they kind of outlive their time and even products. I've sold some, just base cards of like Lemieux and Jagr, low end cards, but they're going to sell a lot of times because of the players that they are. So even like news situations like this, it doesn't seem like it would impact the sales that much. It'd have to be some kind of crazy news. Now, if you have the Jagr bobblehead, then sure, that's going to sell probably. But in terms of cards, I don't see it really. It's not like people didn't hear of Jaromir Jagr and now they do. Maybe a few folks who don't sell hockey too much, but I don't see any impact here. And in moving forward with other folks, I don't see that this type of news really affects the card sales that much. All right, let's get on to a fun one here. Matt Rempe. I think I'm saying that right. This guy, talk of the league for a little bit here. Drafted in 2020, 165th overall by the New York Rangers in the 6th round, the 10th pick. This is his first taste of the NHL, so he hasn't played in the NHL before. And, just a word on him and his fighting, like, I've watched a lot of the other team, like Ryan Reeves interview and stuff like that. Like, I don't have an issue at all with him fighting. Like, he's coming up, he's making a name for himself. Yeah, he was fighting a lot of of the top dogs in the league. But I mean, then again, a lot of them were challenging him. Like I think Delorier, like, you know, they were coming after him. And so, and, you know, good on him to answer the bell. I don't have an issue with the fighting. I don't think it's too much. The league that people that say the league says it is, I think, yeah, they've gotten fighting out of the game a lot, but they like it because people like it. They're talking about it. It's getting them views. I don't believe that they don't like it at all. The hit that he got suspended for, I don't like the hit. I don't like any hits to the head like that, sticking the elbow out. I think it's very intentional. So that I don't like, but that's just a word on his game and his fighting. But in terms of cards, no young guns here. His first game was February 18th. So if we look at, yeah, he doesn't have a young gun. So if we look at February 1st to February 17th, before he had his first game, there's literally no sales of anything for him. But if we look at February 18th, when he had his first game, and I'm trying to remember I can't remember who, I'm sure he had a fight in his first game. I can't remember who that was, but March 15th, we'll research that, and we'll even look at, you know, trading card singles. 423 sold in that time frame. And so, you know, that's zero before. Now there's 423. Now, keep in mind now, and I did more research on this, I can't find an upper deck card of Matt Rempe anywhere. Like even in the AHL, I can't find one of him. And I could be wrong on that, but I don't think he has any upper deck cards. All of these that have sold are stickers, you know, tops now, stickers. These are all stickers. Let's see what the high sale was. 124. I'm not sure. I wonder what that one was. Let's see. Items. What's going to group all these into. So we can't really do that. But, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I don't see any actual cards. I mean, there's this rare rookie card, but I don't think this is like an official upper deck card. I'm not sure. Sometimes the minor league teams release like cards that are like unofficial cards, and there's not really like a brand on them. So yeah, I don't see much in terms of cards. Unfortunately, they'd probably be selling really well. So we'll see what's ahead for him. But I think if he keeps the hype up, I think he'll have some decent sales. But I don't see him being more than probably a third line player. Not that he doesn't have any skill, but yeah, somebody probably use him on or playing him with somebody who's a little bit more skilled that needs that checking forward with them. All right, let's move right along with the Card Report this week. Card-centric hobby news. The BBC reporting that a case of mystery ice hockey cards found in a Canadian basement. Love hearing stories like this because I'm jealous of them. Fetched $3.7 million at an auction. Okay, so, you know, you hear that. I'm happy for you guys. Blah, blah, blah. Why can't that happen to me, right? The case is from Gretzky's rookie year and could contain more than 20 Wayne Gretzky rookie cards. So I was reading about it. I guess the guy who got them wanted to keep them and save them, I think, to see if they were ever worth anything someday. And kind of like a lot of people did, you know, back then, and didn't open them. And this was the right year and cards not to open. and I guess the right folks found them. And it's crazy. $3.7 million. So if you got some cards in a basement somewhere unopened, don't sell them at a garage sale for $20 without looking at them. What else we got here? Bedardmania. I talked about this at the beginning. People were lined up around the block. I believe it was Saskatchewan in Canada for Connor Bedard for the Series 2, 23-24 Upper Deck Series 2 cards. You know, it's a lot of money for a box. I'm going to talk about this too when we go around YouTube with Bedardmania, but it's a lot of money for a box. I haven't even bought one yet. I might buy a blaster. I don't know. We'll see, but it is a lot. It's through $300 some US right now. I think it might even be more than that right now. But it's that one of one, the gold outburst. That's what everybody's wanting. There's $1 million bounty out there from David Adams' Card World, a place where you can get cards. So we'll see what happens with that one. Next up as well, we got, this is interesting. Upper Deck announces an exclusive license with the PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League. It's going to be a digital trading card set at some point. I love the PWHL idea. I hate the digital trading card idea. I don't like the digital cards whatsoever. I mean, this isn't like CDs where you had the CD, but you're okay with listening to it on Spotify now. The whole thing is holding the hockey card, you know, so not really big on the digital cards at all. I have no interest in those. And it's a little confusing too with with the PWHL, which we'll see this when I do the upcoming products segment. But I mean, the PWHL has they were going to release I think it's PHF, the Hockey Federation, which is before the PHL bought them last summer. It was I think it was PHF, right? So I'm not sure what's going on with that release. It's still slated to be released, but these will be the first exclusive license, I guess, with PWHL. So I hope they do an actual box of cards. I'd love to get some of those. All right, moving right along to this week's Player Spotlight. Mr. Alexander Nylander, the son of Michael Nylander, brother of William Nylander. This guy's 26 years old. He was drafted 8th overall in 2016, I believe, by the Buffalo Sabres. Played a little bit with the Sabres. The most he played in one season, I think, was 65 games with the Blackhawks. This was before their Bedard days. Had a decent year. Since then, he got traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins for Sam Lafferty, I believe it was, and mostly played with the Penguins in the AHL. Didn't do much in the NHL roster when he was called up. Had decent numbers in the AHL with the Penguins, the Baby Pens, and he played 5 games with Pittsburgh this year, had 0 points, and he played 10 games, at least at the time of doing this video. I think he's added another game or two to that list with the Columbus Blue Jackets and has 8 points, but I think it might be 11-11. It might be because he had, I think, 2 goals and an assist in the game the other day. So, I mean, I'm not going to get into why he's succeeding here and didn't succeed in Pittsburgh. I have my theories about that, and you'll be sick of me complaining about Pittsburgh and Mike Sullivan's resistance to play young players many times on this podcast, so I'll spare you that today. But in terms of cards, this actually is a really good indication of how a player breaking out can impact cards. So if we look at February 1st to February 21st, which is before the trade, I believe, let's just look at his young guns. He's got 3 young guns sold. The high was $995 down to $199. Now, if we look at after the trade, February 22nd to March 15th. So let's just change that here. February 22nd to March 15th. We'll go back to trading card singles. Okay, so we got 15 sold. So that's about 3 weeks as well. So the first 3 weeks, just about 3. Now we got 15 sold, and the high's up to 40. I think that was a PSA. There was a PSA in there, the $40 one that was graded. I thought I saw it was graded at 10. It's definitely a PS. There it is. Yeah, PSA 10, Buffalo Sabres, just for $40. So it's still low enough if you want to get his card. You're not going to pay an arm and a leg for it, but I don't think he'll, at least with the rest of this season, partly because Columbus is terrible. I don't think it's gonna jump to like $50, but if he does this and stays with Columbus next, or even gets traded to like an actual winning team next year, or a team that's kind of on the cusp there and has another a really good year, I mean, I think you could see these numbers jump a little bit. But I actually have an autograph of his too in my collection, and I have his young gun, so I might either just sell it now or wait. It's kind of a cool card. I like having. I bought him for this exact purpose. When the Penguins traded him, traded for him, that's when I bought him, because I felt that he would kind of come up at some point and I'd be able to get a return on it. So, I think it's really a good indication of how, a trade and to a different environment, and you're scoring goals and people are searching for your young guns. I don't think there's any coincidence there. So, all right, let's go around YouTube. Like I said, Bedardmania. I am already so sick of it. If I see one more thumbnail of Break Channel that has 23-24 Series 2 and it says, "We pulled it," and it's not Connor Bedard's 1 of 1, it's just clickbait, not saying I've never done that, but yes, very, very Bedard fatigued at this point. I will say this about the 1 of 1 gold outburst. At least when I recorded this, I didn't see that it was pulled yet. I don't think Upper Deck knows where it is. That would be insane, right? Are they even allowed to do that? I know we're sending it to this, we want this specific person to get it. That would be crazy. But I do think that they know that it's later in their distribution. Why? Because why would they put it early in the distribution? Because if somebody pulls it early, the product is, I would assume after that 1 of 1 is pulled, the boxes are going to go down slightly. It's not going to be a ton, but you're going to see a little dip, and Upper Deck knows that. So I do think they put it late in the distribution, so I don't feel bad about not buying a box yet. So yeah, channels around YouTube. Obviously, Ziri is doing his case of that, and I didn't see any Young Guns. I'm sorry, he did pull a couple Young Guns, but I didn't see any Outburst pulls on him. Actually, he might have got an Outburst Silver. Back in the game, that channel, they got an Outburst Silver. One almost sold for $1,700. Crazy. $1,700 US recently. That's pretty awesome. I'm sure that paid for the box, right? 23-24 star rookies too. We missed that one. That was before the Bedardmania, but Bedard is in that, so we're still in Bedardmania. I mean, Bedard Auto's in there. One just sold for $3,000, but I don't see any actually pulled on any videos on YouTube. If you see one, go ahead and drop it in the comments. But I didn't see any of those actually pulled, but they are for sale on eBay. And then there is a 1 of 1 black auto parallel for each of those players as well, I think, in that set. I didn't see any of those for sale. I wonder how. See, we're talking so much about the 1 of 1 Outburst Gold. We're not talking about that 1 of 1 black auto parallel in the star rookies. I wonder how much that one's going to fetch. I don't think there's a bounty out there for that one either. So, all right, a look ahead. Let's look at upcoming product releases before we say goodbye. 22-23 Parkhurst Champions. That's looking at March 20th. Obviously, keep in mind these are all placeholder dates. These are always moving targets with Upper Deck, so likely these will not stick, but this is just where we're at right now. But Parkhurst Champions, great little set. Definitely open it once for the historical purposes of it. 22-23 Upper Deck Premier Hockey Federation box set. So this is that set I was talking about. Premier Hockey Federation was the women's league before it was sold and became PWHL last August, I believe. And so as of right now, I mean, this, they're showing that the PHF box is still going to be released. I mean, it's pretty much, I think, the same players that moved over to PWHL, I believe, though I'm assuming. So, hey, I mean, if that's the case, this could be the last PHF box. I might want to get it because it's going to be a little bit more rare. So check that one out. 22-23 Premiers, April 24th. 22-23 Ultimate, April 17th. What else we got? 23-24 products. We got Leaf Metal Legends, March 22nd. 23-24 CHL, April 10th. CHL cards, I think it was 21-22 or 22-23. I can't remember. 21-22 is the one I bought a few boxes of that. Those ones actually sell really well on eBay, the base cards, because the young players have so much potential they're just so young in hockey. They have such a long time to bloom, I guess, that I've sold a decent amount of those. 23-24 Skybox Metal, April 17th, and then 23-24 Trilogy, April 24th. That takes us through April in terms of upcoming product releases. That's it for today's show, guys. Thank you all so much for listening to The Puck Mike Show, connecting hockey cards to hockey news. Be sure to check out our playlist and podcast, The Puck Mike Show, a weekly show discussing the latest and greatest hockey card news, featuring key segments like Around the League, the top news stories around the world of hockey and their impact on the hockey card market, the Card Report, card-centric hobby news, weekly pack breaks, and so much more. You can also check out my other channel at Card Zoo Sports Cards. Don't forget, where I share my experience selling mostly low-end sports cards on eBay. Thank y'all so much for watching the first edition of The Puck Mike Show, and I'll check you later.